Hello again, Conte. I wanted to do a video on the new Kushala farming quest, or just the farming quest in general. I probably won't do one per monster because they're basically the exact same quest. But I needed to do one at the very least because we were streaming this quite a bit the last few days, and I've noticed that there are a lot of people who don't know about Droprates, who don't know about Sealed Feystones, who don't know about a lot of the mechanics. And so even though we vaguely covered these in like miscellaneous videos, I thought I'd put it all in one place and have it nice and summarized. So yeah, this is the quest in the Tempest Wake. It is a 6-star event quest. It has an MR barrier of 100, so you won't be able to do it unless you're at MR 100, unfortunately. It's in the Valkana siege area that you fight him in the story. It's only used once, and so I understand that a lot of people aren't really familiar with a lot of the map's mechanics because it's been a long time. But that's what this is for. You'll notice on the right of the screen, right at the start, Roaming Ballista and Dragon Razor are all active. This is the new base camp, by the way. It's nice, we've got a little sort of a unique camp over here. Place to eat. You can't actually get back in here without a Farcaster. These are the two exits, by the way. These two little pieces of fabric. As you can see, they're kind of raised with spikes out, and so basically you can't get back into here without a Farcaster. So make sure you bring them if you need to like take stickies or anything like that. There is slinger ammo in the area here. There's also some in the back of the map. I'll show you those locations in a second. But for now, let's pop on the ghillie mantle and just do a quick overview. Before getting into drop rates and stuff, let's do a quick overview of the various mechanics. We've got cannons here, cannonballs over there, and cannonballs over there. We've got some stones, some slinger ammo right here, and same thing on the other side of the map. We have the roaming ballista. I'm not going to use it because it'd kill my ghillie mantle, but you use the left and right analog stick, and then you hold the right bumper to fire. Very typical stuff over there. And we've got the second set of slinger ammo over here. Aside from that, they've made some slight tweaks to the map. So for example, in this area here where the fuel cell used to be, you can now get ballista ammo and the one-shot binder, which you can use. And I'm pretty sure there's only one of these, even in multiplayer. It might respawn after a while, but we never had the hunt go on long enough or cared enough to check. Yeah, so the fuel has been moved up top. And I believe this is because they kind of in playtesting realized that it was a little bit tedious to slug fuel all the way up from the bottom over here like it was in the Valkana quest. The thing about the Valkana quest is it was really heavily scripted, and so they were able to like give you that ability. But yeah, because in this quest it's not like that, I think that's the reason they've moved the fuel cells up. In solo, it's possible to do it with ghillie mantle, otherwise it's quite difficult because Kushala and whatever the other monsters will always be on your back. In multiplayer, it's a little bit more manageable because you can have teammates distracting the monster, but I would still recommend ghillie. And if you're looking for where to shoot the ammo, it's this ballista over here. So while I have my ghillie mantle active, and again, oh, by the way, the Dragon Razor itself shoots in this sort of black marked location. It has a fairly reasonably sized explosion, so even if you're not 100% accurate, it's not a huge deal. Yeah, so what I've seen done in multiplayer, and it's not always the case, but I've seen people use the one-shot binder. By the way, I might as well show you it now. As you can see, it keeps Kushala down for a really long time. I'll go upstairs and just fire the Dragon Razor. It gives you more than enough time to run to the top and fire this, by the way. We're a little bit off center, but I don't think it's a huge deal. Oh, and you fire the Dragon Razor using these two little marks. So you can see 225 and then a series of 58s. Slightly smaller ticks, and then 2,905 followed by a really long knockdown. Not a really long knockdown, sorry, followed by another topple for your teammates to take advantage of. So it's in excess of like 3,300 damage there. The only other thing I should mention before going on to drop rates and stuff like that is that Kushala can destroy the ballista and the various cannons. We don't have NPCs filling these up like we did previously. They weren't like automatically filled at the start of the quest. So they are a little bit tedious to use. 250 damage per hit, 500 if you have heavy artillery maxed. Heavy artillery doesn't seem to affect the Dragon Razor from what I can tell, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and the Dragon Razor does about 10k damage in multiplayer. But now that we've covered basically everything on the map and all of the various mechanics, where to find the ammos and where to shoot them, so hopefully I stop getting... Oh, and I guess I should explain, the reason I'm going over all of this is while streaming, I got asked a lot of really basic questions about the area, like repeatedly over and over again. So I figured it would be nice to have everything in a single video location just to point people towards. But yeah, let's kill the Kushala and then I'll show you the drop rates. So as you can see, we took out Kushala. It took us about 10 minutes overall. It wasn't too difficult. We did basically a mini greatsword stun lock. I dropped it a few times, but I was erring on the side of lateness, and so... anyway, I'll talk about how to do the greatsword stun lock consistently some other time. But yeah, so we killed it. We wasted like 5 minutes showing you around at the start of the video, so this 10-minute time is a little bit misleading. But anyway, for the quest rewards, you get your Kushala parts and stuff for your bonus rewards too. And then you get a guaranteed drop of 3 Sealed Feystones. And then you get a number of additional Feystones. Now these additionally rolled Feystones, they're not always 4 of them. They can be, on average, when I've done it, I've seen to have gotten like 5 or 6 on average. Sometimes a few more, sometimes we get 4 like this. Each of these individually rolled drops has a 1% chance of being 3 more Sealed Feystones. Meaning, yes, you can get this 3 Sealed Feystone drop twice or even more than that. Yeah, each of these has a 1% chance of being 3 more Sealed Feystones and an 8% chance of being a single Sealed Feystone. So if you do the maths, each of these individual rolls has on average like 1/10 of a Sealed Feystone. That's not really how statistics works, but it's a nice way to think about it. And so if you're averaging, let's say 5 of these per quest, and that's kind of a conservative, I'd say it's more like 6. And even 0.1 was a slight underestimate. Basically, you're getting half an additional Sealed Feystone on top of the 3 every single quest. So yeah, on average, you expect to get somewhere in the region of 3.5 Sealed Feystones. That would be how many Sealed Feystones you get per like doing this quest, including the additional ones that get dropped. Now for Tempered Zinogre, it's a little bit less than that because you don't have the 8% chance, which is kind of where the bulk of that comes from. And so you get a guaranteed of 2, and you don't really get any additional ones usually. And so on average, you get something like slightly more than 2. So basically, you're getting something in the region of like 150% more Sealed Feystones by doing this quest here. So the $1 million question: Tempered Kushala or Tempered Zinogre? Which one should you be doing? And when I say Kushala, I mean obviously the Teostra and the Lunastra quests that have the same drop rates would count too. But yeah, which one do you want to be doing? These quests or the Tempered Zinogre quest? It's actually quite simple. If we take our average, which was anecdotal, but obviously you can put in your own anecdotally obtained average if you prefer. 3.5 Sealed Feystones from this quest per run, and 2 from Tempered Zinogre per run. You take the ratio, that's 1.75, so it's basically a 75% difference. What that means is if you can do Tempered Kushala's quest in 75% longer the time it would take you to do Zinogre's quest, or less than that, then you should be doing Kushala. So to give you some actual numbers that make a bit more tangible sense, if Tempered Zinogre takes you on average 4 minutes, then if you take 75% of that, that's 3 minutes. Then if you can do Kushala in 7 minutes or less, it would make more sense to do Kushala. On top of that, the considerations are that Tempered Kushala is much easier to stunlock, first of all. Second of all, it's also not in the Ancient Forest, it's in a nice flat area. So as much as I hate Kushala, because I'm going for stunlocks, I can bear the Tempered Kushala quest more than I can having to deal with the Tempered Zinogre in the Ancient Forest while surrounded by, you know, Banbaro and like 5 other monsters. But of course, it all comes down to which quests you prefer, but even more importantly, how fast you can do them both in. So yeah, take that heuristic of mine, and again, if you found that Kushala has been more or less lenient with decos for you, feel free to change the 3.5 and the 2 to whatever you found the drop rates to be. That'll give you a heuristic as to which quest you should be doing, depending on how fast you can beat the 2. But yeah, with a spread HBG, with a strategy so simple a child could do it, you can beat this quest in under 5 minutes every time. And so I would never see, if you are doing that, if you're using the stunlock methods, there's never any reason to do Tempered Zinogre while this quest is out. But yeah, so hopefully that made sense. Hopefully I've covered all the sort of useful information, the stuff that people are interested in. I'm basically just doing an FAQ of all the stuff that I kept getting asked last stream. Speaking of stream, I stream my runs and stuff live at twitch.tv/consoa. If you saw that greatsword headlock that I posted, or even the first Claire, or if you saw the spread HBG one that I'm going to post up, those were all done on Twitch a few days ago, so you can see everything there first. But yeah, otherwise, I hope you have a lovely day. Take it easy. Bye-bye.